There's nothing else I can say to that, but damn.
Hey everybody, it is Cody here from Rasslin Rage and Michigan Independent Weekly. I am joined by none other than the dirty white boy, Chuck Stein. I'm going to ask him a few questions. I'm even going to ask him a few questions people asked on Facebook. But before I do that, please smash the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you'd like to be notified of all the great content that comes to the channel, click that bell. What you got to do is you click it and you make it gray. You know you've done it right. So, the dirty white boy, Chuck Stein. What's crack-a-lackin', brother?
Oh, how's it going, man?
Oh, well, you know, we're in a crazy time right now. It's a little nuts.
Yeah, it's a little boring, too.
That it is. I've been doing my best to keep myself going, doing interviews, uploading matches, doing all kinds of video editing stuff, though, because I want to keep the dream alive, brother.
Yes, sir.
Now, there was this thing online recently where a bunch of wrestlers, or if they're in the wrestling business, have been posting pictures and stuff. I've noticed that a majority of your pictures are with stuff protruding out of your head. So that begs to ask the question: do you like things stuck in your head?
Oh, well, I
sharp objects.
Wouldn't say I necessarily like it, but it happens quite often.
Yeah, I see that. Now, you are very well known for Deathmatch Wrestling. Did you start out in Deathmatch or did you just start out regular? Well, how did it work out for you?
Well, after training, I started out just doing regular matches, working Pro Wrestling All-Stars in Detroit. Okay. And I worked exclusively from 2012 to 2017 with them, and that's when Horror Slam came along.
Nice.
And it just kind of progressed from there. I would do a little hardcore matches, Pro Wrestling All-Stars, but that's mostly family friendly.
Right.
Necro Butcher was there a couple times. Me and him had a couple pretty crazy ones.
Right.
Not death matches, but they got a little out there. I would say it just kind of progressed.
Do you feel like it was I don't know how to put it, but like, was it something like you got a taste of it and was like, you know what, maybe I can do a little more next time, or something?
Oh, like I've had a taste for it for a long time.
Okay, well then that begs to ask the question: is somebody asked from Facebook? Hold on here, let's see what they said here. I'm going to ask you this question because if you've been into it a long time, then you got to have that guy or the person that you're like when you were a kid and you're like, this is the guy I want to emulate.
Sabu.
Yep. Was the guy. Your guy.
Sabu.
Yeah. He's the homicidal, genocidal maniac, and he is really a maniac, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Have you had the luxury of facing him yet?
I have not. I have had the luxury of teaming with him.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. How was that like?
Oh, it was a 4-on-4 cage match.
Oh,
it was
wow.
Amazing. It was amazing.
So Jimmy Gray on Facebook asks, who would be your dream deathmatch opponent?
My dream deathmatch opponent, it would have to be like Cactus Jack or Terry Funk. But realistically now, like a Masada.
Okay. Well, speak of like, Mick Foley, right? He's not really known for deathmatch, but he's more known for hardcore. And you see some of these videos where, as a kid, he's talking about he's jumping out of the windows and doing these big high spots and stuff like that. When you were a kid, were you trying to emulate deathmatch wrestling? Were you like, did you have a thing sticking out of there, a surgical anything?
Way back in 1998, backyard wrestling. I did a glass match. I did a thumbtack match here or there.
Oh, okay.
We'll just call it my not so smart years.
Not so smart years. Well, I think we've all kind of had those, and those all kind of happen in our younger years, right? We learn from being stupid. we do dumb shit, and then we get in trouble, and then we got to kind of learn from it. And the ones that don't end up in prison, right?
Right, right.
So, now, so how we talked a lot about deathmatch and stuff like that. Where did you seek out training?
I trained with Briar.
Oh, okay. So you trained by Briar,
I said, I did the backyard stuff a long time ago,
right?
like way back even before I started doing that. Me and Briar used to go to wrestling shows together
Oh,
as
okay.
fans. I've known the guy for over 25 years.
Oh, wow.
So, and then, I had stopped doing it. A friend passed away. I stopped doing it. I got married, had a family, blah, blah, blah. And then, I always had to feel like I loved wrestling. All my life loved wrestling. It's kind of a regret of mine that I never followed through. Started going to indie shows again with my daughter as she was, getting a little older, like come to these wrestling shows with me. Met up with Briar again, started talking, like, well, I mean, let's see if I can do it now. And that was 2011 I started training.
Oh, that's awesome. So I mean, it's been what, 9 years roughly?
Yeah, 8 years. I finished in 2012.
Yeah. So 8 years. That's not bad, So 8 years, and I've seen you at several organizations here in our state. Where did you come up with the? Okay, before I ask this one just came to my head. I gotta ask, how much product do you have to put in your hair to get that thing to stand up, dude?
A lot. It
I
takes me about a half an hour before
Oh, wow.
every show. It takes me about a half hour to get it ready.
Now once it goes
Minimum.
right, once it goes up into the Mohawk, as we know it as, what do you have to do? Like, is it like a straight bottle of shampoo to get all that stuff out, or what's up?
Practically, yes. Practically, it's like shampoo coming out.
That's
Yeah.
insane, man. I gotta imagine
There's chunks of glass falling out and a little bit of that too.
I gotta imagine there's a lot of money that just goes into doing your hair.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow, man, that's insane. Now,
It's a labor of love.
right now, we've taught you. There's the thing with you, punk rock, dude. That's kind of your thing, right? And with Mitch and Sean Lawhorn and the Guru, the
Yeah.
Detroit punk. And I just did an interview with the Guru of our. I have interviewed Mitch a while back as well. Tell me what your affiliation, besides being a fan of punk rock, is there more to it than just being a fan?
I back in the day I tried doing the bands too.
Yeah.
Tried playing bass in a band. I sucked. I tried playing guitar in a band. I sucked. I sang in a band. It was okay, but I still sucked. But it was fun. It's always been fun. I
Right.
love music. You know.
Yeah. Here you are. Yeah. Well, now it's part of Chuck Stein, though, too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, yeah.
When Chuck Stein when you walk out of the curtain and you come out, punk rock is Chuck Stein. Chuck Stein is punk rock. So it goes hand in hand. Tell me a little bit what it's like for you working with the younger guys like Mitch and Lawhorn.
Oh, I love working with them guys. It's weird that people kind of look up to me. And I'm not saying, I'm greatest or whatever, but
Right.
I'll get certain comments and they'll ask certain things like, oh, it's kind of cool that people are asking me for advice.
Right.
I wouldn't ask me for advice, but
Now, Mitch is a very popular amongst the fans. Recently at BCWA, he was voted the what was it, the up and rising. I forget what the technical term was for that award, but basically it was like an up and rising star. I really think that with everything going on, and once we get back to wrestling here in the state, once we get the all clear to come out of our houses again, oh my lord, I think that Mitch is going to be one of those guys that he's got a long career ahead of him for sure.
Oh, he does, and he's proven himself. He has already, and he continues to grow.
Yeah, I mean, even I'm not sure if you're familiar with XICW's crowds at all, but man, I tell you what, they're a hard crowd to win over sometimes, and they love them. They love
Yeah.
them out there. So, yeah. Now Lawhorn, I haven't seen Lawhorn a whole lot, and that's my own fault because I haven't been to the shows that he's been on. I've seen him in a couple shows. I'm not going to say
Mhm,
that, but
mhm.
can you tell me a little bit about your affiliation with Lawhorn and how you guys came about to get together there?
Well, me and Lawhorn, we've gone back and forth since he finished training, and when he came out of training, he started Pro Wrestling All Stars. Me and him had some matches. I mean, we've had quite a few matches actually.
Right.
And I was like, all right, he's got skill too, and he's got heart, and he continues to improve every show, every match. He's still improving, still learning. I mean, we're all still learning.
Oh, I mean, yeah. If you're not always learning, what are you doing? You're
Right.
stagnant, right?
Yeah.
You're not growing. Now we are in a I don't even know what to call it, man. I mean, because it's this time where there's absolutely no independent wrestling going on in our state. Now, I'm not going to say there isn't independent wrestling going on because there are organizations like GCW that are doing, no fan shows and stuff like that. And there's other things going on, but there is no independent wrestling in our state right now.
No.
And it really does suck. Uh, I am absolutely missing wrestling. I know you had a big weekend coming up. You were making going to be on pay per view for Fight TV for Horror Slam versus GCW.
Yep.
Uh, you know what? I know it sucks, but tell us kind of what's going through the roller coaster of emotions when something like this happens in the world of wrestling.
Well, I mean, first I got to make sure that I'm safe and my family is safe,
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
obviously. But as far as it is kind of depressing that there's no wrestling, and now they're telling us not to leave our houses and can't do this, we can't do that, and it's just everything's changing day by day. Everything
Yeah.
changes
Yeah.
every day. You just got to kind of roll with it, hope for the best.
Now, when you found out that Horror Slam was going to be on Fight TV, was that your first time on Fight TV or on
Oh
a
yeah,
pay per view? So obviously you're excited,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
ecstatic, right? And then find out that they got to cancel the show.
Huge opportunity.
Let's say it again.
That's a huge opportunity. A
Absolutely.
lot of eyes would be on us. A
Right.
lot of eyes.
Yeah. Now, granted, the show had to be postponed or canceled, but it looks like we got a new date according to what I'm seeing online. It looks like we're looking in June 26th, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Yep, I believe that's right. June
And
20th.
and according to what I've seen Breyer put online, it's still going to be on Fight. So
Yes. Yep.
that's granted we might have to make some moves and do some things, but that's the world of wrestling and that's how it works. So are you still kind of keeping that going forward, or
For sure. Definitely. Definitely. I have a feeling when things come back, it's going to be a busy schedule.
absolutely. I
It's
mean,
going to be a busy schedule.
well, March alone for the state of Michigan had about 25 to 26 events just for March.
Sure.
That past weekend, the weekend of that show for Horror Slam on the 20th, with the next one on the 21st, and Pro Wrestling All Stars, there were 8 shows scheduled just for last weekend alone.
That's amazing.
Right.
It's amazing and crazy at the same time.
Right. The week before that, 6. I mean, it was just, and it cancel, postpone, cancel, postpone because of this, what's going on. And it sucks. It really does. But again, I'm not sick. I know you're not sick. So we're following the rules and we're doing what we got to do. It does suck though. Now,
Yes.
Chuck, do you have any, social media and stuff like that for people to follow you on?
Yeah, of course. I got my Facebook page. That's what I'm on the most is the Facebook. It's easiest for me to navigate, so I use that one the most. Just Chuck Stein.
Okay.
I do have an Instagram at the_d.w.b.
All right.
No Twitter. I don't twiddle. No tweets.
I
Nothing
don't.
like that.
I don't twiddle, no tweets. Now, listen, guys, I will put that down in the description for you. That way you can just click the link and go right there and hit the follow and whatever, like the follow if it's a page, or if you can send him a friend request or whatever, and then you can get information for all the shows that he's going to be on. Real quick, before we get out of here, what's some goals for Chuck Stein going into 2020? I mean, it's already kind of a shitty 2020, but coming out of this pandemic and we're getting back to normal again, what's some goals going forward for you, bud?
I don't really set myself huge goals because I don't want to disappoint myself the most, but just more states. I want to make it out to the West Coast.
Oh, absolutely. There you go.
Texas. I'm booked in Arizona later on in the year.
Oh,
just get around more. I stayed just a Michigan guy for years, and everybody, 40 miler, whatever. Just get out there more.
Well, I mean, you put your mind to it, you do what you got to do, and there's nothing you can't, nothing's going to stop you. And with this GCW deal you guys are doing, I believe that you guys are going to go to the moon and back, man. It's going to be awesome. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan once we get out of this whole stinky spiel crap, and it's a great time, and Michigan's a hot spot right now, and I can't wait.
It is a hot spot. It is a hot spot. It reminds me of when I was going to the shows in the late 90s. Yeah. Michigan was a hot spot then too.
Right, and it's cracking, man. I can't wait, man. Well, Mr. Stein, I want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight, man, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Don't forget, guys, you can go down in the description to find all the information for his, social media. And don't forget to smash the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already.
Check it out. It's r2youtube.com. That's R2 youtube.com. And tell him Velvet sent you.
This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage. Scream it out loud. This is Rasslin Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. Let's go down. This is Rasslin Rage. Do it now. This is Rasslin Rage.